Okay, here's the fully abridged version. Got a little carried away with the other version, so here's the short version. What I want to do is help you teach your daughter's math. And here's why. What we've done is we've created a system that has damaged your children's self-esteem. Here is a little girl and her mom. Uh, and again, the American Beauty myth says part of that American Beauty myth is you can't be good looking and smart. These parents put quite a bit of value on teaching their children mathematics, and they are hands-on and have gotten involved in changing things for their own kids because they know that if you're going to wait around for the school system or government or somebody else to do it for you, you're going to be waiting a long time. So here she is, literally on Dad's knee, playing blocks, having fun, enjoying herself, right? Playing games so that we avoid this kind of thing. Because look at this. What is she crying over? Algebra. What's the most failed subject? Algebra. What do I hear from engineers and architects and scientists when I ask them, how often do you use algebra? What I hear is every day. Now, look at this. Just look at this. This is the system we've created. And believe me, I know how this girl feels because remember, I failed calculus. And again, not an academic exercise for me. I know it's not an exercise in empathy or a thought process or some kind of thought exercise. I know how she feels. Could have been avoided just playing what's under the cup, just playing games, having fun, right? If you look closely at that picture that she drew, this is what she's doing. Well, a little bit more complicated than this, but not by much. And I guarantee you my 10-year-old son could do that kind of math, solving, right? Stories about Spaceman Biff and Spaceman Biff. Here's a little girl that's never going to have trouble like that. Never going to have trouble like that. Because we play what's under the cup. She asked for what's under the cup. She asked for algebra. They like algebra. Get their hands on the blocks, 2 hands. I show you the techniques. I show you the methodology. I show you how to do it. Playing with square numbers, so important at an early age. And this is where we're going to end up. But this is where we start, just playing and having fun. Right? Get those 2 hands on the blocks. Got video now so that your kids can follow along if you can't do it yourself. Introduce concepts in the concrete, and then we draw them, and then we go to symbols. And to start out, those drawings are going to be less than perfect, but the idea is that they can picture the math in their heads. How do you conceptualize anything if you don't have a picture of it? If all you see is these symbols and you've never seen how the symbols relate to physical reality, and of course it's going to be difficult to graph or manipulate those symbols if you have no concept. Right? This is the problem. Math is a language, and language represents reality. Now, you can use words and letters, or you can use numbers. In mathematics, the math represents reality numerically. It's just another way of expressing your universe. And how do we start? How do we get there? We play blocks. And then we use this, right, technique, this method, so that you can see, and I show you how to do it, that the blocks are going to do so much more than just teach algebra. We're going to get add-ins. We're going to get multiplication. We're going to get addition, all in the algebra, all at once. And it's not going to be hard. As you'll see, it's going to be fun. Here's little second graders playing math. And that myth that girls can't do math is ridiculous. All throughout history, we've said that, well, women weren't even allowed in university at one point, if you recall. Because why? Because we knew they couldn't read. 21st century, we still have this myth surrounding mathematics that women don't do math. The same way we used to have this myth around reading and symbols and book learning was a man thing, not a woman thing. Math is just a language, and women actually, their language skills are better than men's. Hedy Lamarr, there's again the American Beauty myth. Remembered for her beauty, remembered for her acting. Most people don't know that she actually had a bit to do with mathematics and technology. There's another one. Most people know her from TV, but they don't realize that this is a mathematician, and the mind in this woman is pretty amazing. So what do these little girls get? Here they are playing, right? We're just little second graders. What they get is this. What they get is pressure to look like this. Comes from all angles, comes from all sides, all the time. In the media, in their video games, all the time. And it comes with the admonishment that if you look like this, you can't be smart. If you look like this, right, what are we doing to these children? What are we doing to these little girls? And we've created a system that doesn't teach math in a way that they understand. It doesn't let them get their hands on it. Doesn't let them use their intuition. Doesn't let them use their natural abilities for problem solving. We teach to the male mind, the visual learner. Now, what we need to do is understand that there is a better way to go. And if you're going to wait around for others to do it for you, you're going to wait a long time. So instead, take matters into your own hands. Well, the problem is a lot of you failed math. And a lot of you actually, I've heard from more than a few now, that you didn't fail math. You're actually pretty good at math, but you're having a hard time explaining it to your kids. I show you how to explain it to your kids. Whether you were good or bad or indifferent or I don't care what your experience was, if you speak English, you can count to 9, form a rectangle, tell me whether something's same or different or not, I can teach you math. Further, I can teach you to teach others math. Here we are playing, making tens. 45 add-ins. We practice 9s and 10s because 9s and 10s make subtraction easy, and once we get addition and subtraction, we can do all the mathematics. And so there's quotes by men smarter than me that say you can do all the math with just addition and subtraction. It just takes a long time. What I'm going to do is teach you how to count very quickly and easily so that the math concepts are no problem, because the math is how we do the mathematics, right? The computation is how we do the mathematics, but that's not the mathematics. You need many math concepts, algebra, calculus, and so forth. But you can't be slowed down because you can't even add two numbers together, or you can't multiply easily, or you can't see patterns. Right? Multiplication allows you to count quickly. So we get there quickly and easily. Just playing, having fun. To these kids, look, and algebra, right? We introduced algebra early, factoring, so that graphing polynomials is not going to be a problem later on. Later on, we can get more and more complicated. Those are just tens, a cube of tens. Right? And I can see that's a 9 and a 1, that's a 5 and a 5, there's a 7 and a 3. There they are going this way, and then of course they're going that way too. Much more fun than worksheets. Much more fun than drill. You get to build and play and fool around. Look how much math is going on right here. Right? Just free play, just building stuff. Right there we see that 2 and 4 is the same as 6, and 3 and 3 is the same as 6, and a 5 and a 5 is the same as a 4 and a 1, and let's see, let's compare 2 to 5. There's so much math going on there. Little girl, factoring polynomials in algebra. Right there we're completing the square. She's resting on her laurels. But it starts with just fooling around. Look, there's ordination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10's the biggest one. There's a little girl we were teaching multiplication, found out that the 9's times table is actually pretty easy. Look at their faces. You don't want it, right? No worksheets, no flashcards. It's not the girls. It's the way we teach the math. Further, this logic and reasoning that, oh, if you're a guy and you're bad at math, well, you know. But if you're a girl, then, you know, all girls suck at math. And girls even use it as an excuse. This is me fooling around with second graders. Second graders. Just playing and having fun, right? Concept of function, square numbers, seeing that square numbers have something in common, right? All those numbers right there have something in common. They're all square. And that how we can make a square number, and the understanding of a function, if the function is x squared, then when I put 2 in, I get 4. If I put 13 in, I get 169. And we built them and counted them and skip counted and learned add-ins and had fun. More getting multiplication down. Playing. Having a good time. Oh, this little girl right here. And having difficulty as a slightly older child, parents hired me to help her out. And the mom figured out that she could do it herself. And I put these two together because look at this girl. This girl is young and beautiful. She's going to grow up to be a beauty just like this girl grew up to be a beauty. And do we want to crush their self-esteem? Would this woman right here be successful if her self-esteem had been crushed as a child? I'm going to say no. That's 4 times as many books as I've written. But she gets it. She gets the idea that young girls need the math. They need to be exposed to the math. It will be the gateway in university to the sciences, to engineering, to higher paying jobs, to computer sciences, to astronomy, to whatever it is. The mathematics allows you, just opens doors, just your gateway. Now, further, just because they're good at mathematics doesn't mean they have to become mathematicians. Doesn't mean they have to become, just like you give your kids piano lessons, you don't expect them to be playing at Carnegie Hall. You do it for enrichment. Mathematics enriches their experience of life, their ability to understand the world around them. What are we doing to these little girls where they come out of school damaged and unhappy? This girl's going to get a scholarship. I guarantee it. Right? And university, that's not just visualization right there. That is going to be what happens. Right? High school is a gimme. College, more than likely. And when she goes to college, she's not going to go there with, gee, what can I go to and get out of this school without having to take much math? She can do what she wants. Explore what she wants. Where does it start? Starts right there on the floor or at your kitchen table. Playing math. Having a good time. Enjoying yourself. Eventually, they're going to get to the point where they can teach their siblings. When one teaches to learn. And this family changed their math forever. Now, again, geniuses don't fix problems. They avoid the problems in the first place. If you're waiting for somebody else to do it for you, you're going to wait a long time. Could have been playing What's Under the Cup. Avoid the problem. Could have been having a good time. This easy. Just put the blocks out, fool around. There they are, factoring polynomials in algebra. Just playing on the floor. It's this easy. Having fun. People tell me it can't be done. It can be done. It will be done. Now, with the mathematics, you can do what you want. I've never worked a day in my life. Well, I've barely worked a day in my life because I've always been doing whatever the hell I want. Now, if you're going to wake up and have to go to a dead-end job for the rest of your life, that kind of, right? And you know how many times I've heard women tell me in 49 states and Canada the same story coming out of different women's mouths. When they got that F in algebra, that's when they knew they weren't going to go to college. That's when they knew they were going to stay home and be a homemaker. That's when they knew they were just going to have kids. That's when they knew. And nothing wrong with that, by the way. This whole just a mom thing, that's another whole other issue that makes me crazy. Because just being a mom is like one of the most important jobs. And somehow, with women's lib and other, like somehow a woman that stays home and raises kids is less. It's not less. It's different. Right? It doesn't have to be more or better when, you know, a woman that works or a woman that doesn't work, but raising kids is one of the most important jobs out there. One of the things that you can give your children, if you know how, is the mathematics. And avoid this. All right. You really don't want this to be where your child ends up. Because by now, it's too late. And that's where this girl was when I met her. And I freaked out. I mean, this picture looks like it wasn't even put. Like she was freaked out the whole time she was there. And then she wound up passing. But see, we were a little late. We're a little late by the time she's this age. And she comes to me for help. Get them while they're young. Don't wait till the problem starts. So here, just very quickly, just one of the many books that I will have out. But if you can subtract and add, you can do math. If you can't do the subtraction, that makes the multiplication and division difficult, which is going to make the other math difficult. So head them off with the pass with supremely simple subtraction. Get yourself a password, watch a few videos, get yourself in front of the blocks, and I think you will find that you can make a huge difference in your child's life yourself. You don't have to pay me, well, except for like passwords and for blocks, but I mean, you don't have to hire my time for tutoring your kids. Do it yourself. All right, CrewtonRamone'sHouseOfMath.com for more.